Hi, friends. It's Laura here from Healing with Spirit and Healing Trauma Through Spirit. I heard this quote the other day, and it has really struck with me both as a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault, as well as an advocate about how we view women in the USA, victims of domestic violence and victims of sexual assault, and a level of folks who rally behind convicted rapists, abusers, and pedos. And we see it every day in family court where judges are routinely granting custody or unsupervised visitations to abusers, including convicted rapists. And society always says, this is so hard to believe. Why? How could this happen? And so I wanted to read this to you. It really struck with me. The US Presidency is the most powerful seat in the world, and who we give it to communicates so much about our society's current aptitudes and where we are as Americans, all the living generations in our journey of priorities. We all thought about the concept of what does it do to the psyche of women or the generation of girls when they see that a woman is finally perceived by society as equal enough to men that we are willing to give to the highest seat to. But my mind goes to the darker underbelly of that same concept, which is, what does it communicate to a generation of boys if we were to give the highest seat to a man who has been convicted of fraud and rape? What does it say to a population of men that even if you're convicted of those things, just as long as you've mastered the art of deny, you can still soar to the highest heights that America has to offer? And I just want to add a few things, okay? And I kept a couple notes just so I remember to touch on each one. It is up to anywhere from 60 to 80% that abusers are contesting custody and are either granted full custody or visitations. Now, if there has been allegations of sexual assault, whether of the mother or of the child, believe it or not, the stats are higher. So a rapist actually has a higher rate of getting custody than an abuser. So that's point number one. Point number two is there is a reason why we have to question that Trump and Biden both refused to publish the Equal Rights Amendment, which would grant women equal constitutional rights in the Constitution. And I'll explain to you why this is crucial. When Roe was overturned because of three, Supreme Court justices appointed by Trump, Roe has less to do about abortion than it does about anything else. What it has to do with is SCOTUS did not deem women a person under the Constitution. Therefore, women, in a sense, have, that's step one. Step two, if Trump gets elected, there's going to be more rights stripped from women. Could it be voting? Could it be your ability to buy a car? Your ability to buy a house? What is it? Okay? Now, I'm not going to go into Project 2025. I'm sure you've all heard it. If you haven't, go look it up. I'm just going through the stats. 44% of women want to actually vote for a convicted felon, rapist, and a man who routinely peeped on naked little girls, routinely, and got away with it, okay? And brags about sexually assaulting and grabbing women in private parts and gets away with it because he says he can. Domestic violence homicide, since SCOTUS overturned Roe, domestic violence homicide just in the state of Massachusetts has gone up 40%. Who you vote for affects the rights of all women, but especially our girls, our childbearing girls especially. These very rights that our grandmothers and great-grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers have fought and died for to give us. Personally, I will not vote for a convicted rapist who peeps on little girls, who is Epstein's BFF, marries a porn star, and brags about sexually assaulting women. There is a reason why I did not disclose about being sexually abducted at the age of 12. Granted, I wasn't penetrated, but I was grabbed and touched and fondled inappropriately when I was 12. And how I lost my virginity at the age of 15 to a rapist. The reason why I didn't disclose was because of my family and society. Every time a woman would disclose on the TV, all I heard was, she's a liar, she's a liar. All she wants is money. All she wants is fame. She wants fortune. She wants power. Your vote matters because the stats don't lie. There's a reason why less than 1% of victims actually even see a courtroom with justice. There's crazy stats. So your vote matters. And if you are a survivor voting for a convicted felon and a convicted rapist, you really have to look at yourself on what are you really voting for, especially if you're not getting justice in your case. Because the energy you're putting out and the energy you're receiving, basically you're saying, I am going to vote for a convicted rapist, a guy who preys on children, who marries a porn star, who is a known abuser. And if you're going to vote for somebody like that, then you have no recourse when you need justice. Remember that. Are you choosing? This is a choice. Who are you going to choose? A convicted rapist? Do you have little daughters? What are you saying to them? Are they listening to you in the kitchen, yelling at the TV, calling Kamala Harris? Whether you vote like her or not, this has nothing to do really about Kamala. It has to do with something even more dangerous. But are you yelling at the TV, calling her a fraud, that she slept her way to the top, that she's not a... do you realize your daughters are hearing this? That they are not worthy? That they will never be able to rise and excel? Women lie about rape. I've seen people in the spiritual community routinely push that narrative. So be very mindful. If you are voting for a convicted rapist, there might be a reason why your daughter, your sister, your mother, your spouse may never tell you that they were sexually assaulted. Think about that. And what message are you sending by promoting somebody who harms women? Have a good day.